Hey, what's up? It's Achilles, and we're here with my deck profile for RP Luffy. Now, I haven't gotten to take the locals. I was supposed to do that today, but grown up stuff happened. So, today I'm just gonna talk about the deck overall. How I've been liking. I've been playing it before '09 came out, and as soon as '09 came out, or as soon as I got the cards for '09, I put this deck together and played it. So I was playing it on Sim ranked, playing normals, and also playing in person. You'll see a few of the videos that I have up. There is one change that I made. I changed Ben Beckman. I put 2 copies of Ben Beckman in because in that slot I had the Yasups. The Yasups are great. It's just late game. They aren't as great to like just gain 1k. Like you still have 5 extra Don to deal with it, but ideally late game the Ben Beckman is better because their blockers, like destroying their blockers and getting the card out to play, or even playing on curve. Because the plan was, if I didn't get any ramp and I have 5 Don, I could play him out and it'll be harder for them to swing into me early game, which does help. But the Betty matchup and the aggressive like matchups, it still doesn't matter because they'll still get cards out of your hand, swinging 7, and like Don Flamingo, because he still wants to do his leader ability. Betty can just do her leader ability, and those are the matchups that would actually kind of come in handy, where I would have to ditch cards and not take or let them rush me down. But I do like the BIM and overall against like the yellow black, against the Blackbeard, against all types of different cards. And then the more you get Shanks out there, the more valuable playing him late game is. On top of the Shanks effect, this is a very great card. I see a lot of people playing like the 9-drop rush, but at my 9 Don turn, I would rather play Newgate. And if I can ramp up to 10, I would rather play the Shanks, because the more the Shanks I can establish, the more, like I said, Ben Beckman's effect, and even the Edward Newgates where he's KOing a character. Like you get 2 Shanks out there, and then you're able to do that, and you'll have so much value off of him. Another thing is, this deck is really good into Blackbeard. I know in the regionals that I've went to, black is more of a like, a lot of people like to play black, like Lucci, and I imagine that Blackbeard is going to be played a lot in our region. So just having a lot of when attacking cards, or cards that just have like rush, no on plays, are great. Are on plays and when attacking, which is another thing why Kid is great, because you can play him at the 7 or 8 Don turn. You don't get that immediate effect, but the effect happens every turn after that, unless they try to freeze it. But then if you can get this guy on the field, you can get this Shanks on the field. It just makes your leader very hard to swing into. And especially if you can get your leader effects, or like you play the Kid down, play the Shanks the next turn, swing with Kid, get your Don back, and then you'll have your jump giant, and your leader is 7k, and all their characters are minus 1,000 power. Just so much value out of it. These Rogers also come in clutch against any black matchup, because they love to go down to 0, and if you can get them to go down to 0, bam, that's a free win, no matter how much card you're in hand. And the Luffy, I'm only running one of these Luffys because the way that the deck is set up is you want to stay at the higher Dons, like the 8 Dons, 9 Dons, 10 Dons, dropping big body after big body if possible. The 10 drop is just for game, like just when you're like, I need to end this now, or with or like the 5 bodies I have on the field, and I play this. This should definitely be game. It's just a really good ender. That's why I only run one, and I do have searchers if I'm looking for it. The law is I see a lot of people playing the Namis, and then also the event. But the reason why I went with the law is because he searches the Heart Pirates and the Straw Hats. I did have the law blocker in here, but I find myself not playing it as much. And then yeah, with Blackbeard being a thing, it's hard to go against. Doffy, he kind of counters out a lot in our matchup. So I find that law not being viable, but the Gene Bart being searchable. So you be able to search both, like on your 1 down turn, 2 down turn. You're able to search for your Zoro or your Gene Bart and look for those ramping cards, because those are what are the key part of your early game, is just ramping. If you can ramp, it is beautiful. I only run 3 Bond Clays because he's not searchable, and you only really like want to play him in the early game. Like late game, seeing him, you really don't play him. It is nice against the Blackbeard matchup if he can stick, so it's not horrible to get him late game, but you just don't want to see him unless it's that 4 down turn or that 5 down turn. I know, yeah, your 4 or 5 down turn where you can, use your Zoro and then play him, have that combo. And if you don't have him, the Zoro Gene Bart, then you're ramping really fast and getting your 10 drops and your 9 drops out, your big cards out. This deck is, I want to say, it's pretty even on all the matchups that we play, except it has one bad matchup, which is in the meta, which is Betty. There's not a lot you can do with Betty because you're a red deck. You do want to swing big at her, and that can easily punish you because you're already at 3 lives. It doesn't take them long to get to those 5 life total triggers, and then they'll take for sure. That way they can get their bodies out on the field, and then once they have their bodies and they're swinging 8s at you, you just don't have enough life or hands, like a hand size to counter, and you tend not to get, even with your ramp, you tend to be dying around your, like, right when you're about to get 10 on. Like it's like if I got another life, and maybe that's why a lot of people play the 9 drop big moms. It's the 9 drop big moms are slow and just not typically what this build is going for. And of course, I'm playing 2 of these. This is a good blocker to drop down after you play Kid. You use your leader ability, you can play this down and grab some more cards in hand if you don't have the Gum Gum Giant to keep 1 down up for, or even if you do and you just want to fix your hand. This is good. Grab those 2 cards. The Gum Gum Giants and the Onamis make it easier to find the big cards that you want or need because you're cycling constantly for them. The only problem with this deck, and it gets better in later sets when you get a searcher that searches just for big cards. Most of your big cards are not searchable, and that's another thing about seeing Law late game is he's just counter, because if you bottom deck your big cards and you end up getting just your small cards, that's not great at all. But we'll go into the games. All right, so the first game I got for you guys is a Blackbeard. Now, typically you want to go first, and they always want to go second because their curve is the 2 with the Lafette, or even putting out their stage. It sucks to have those Lafettes. You have to get rid of them, even though you want to swing into Blackbeard constantly with the Red Purple Luffy. if you don't get your Zoro Joros, or if you don't get your Law Searcher out there to swing into him, then you're gonna have to deal with your body. It's gonna make the deck a little slower, or it's gonna make your aggressiveness not be there on par. He drops another Lafette, and I'm just hoping right now that he didn't do the black hole ability, his leader effect, and he didn't, which is a mistake for the Blackbeard. Always at 4 Don, if you're going against purple, throw that on. Make sure that Bond Clay doesn't get any value. This one's tough. I decided to take, which I'm actually glad, because now I have 2 kids, and kids are really great in this matchup because they do have an on play, but they also have a win attacking. So just debating here if I play the Newgate or the kid. Playing the Newgate would get rid of any other searches that he plays, and I wouldn't have to swing into him. I would just have to throw 2 Don on the Newgate. But establishing these kids, I think, is a better play, because I'm at 1 life, and just making my leader a 7, then an 8th K leader for the rest of the game is going to be the game plan until he drops the 10 drop Blackbeard. But hopefully I have some other targets on the field that he freezes those, or it doesn't matter. I'm wondering what he's doing with the amount of Don he has up. 6. I'm not totally sure, but from this point on, I'm gonna have to keep 1 up for my giant, and I grab another kid, and he drops his big guy on the field. He's massive for sure. He's an AK. So yeah, like I said, we bring this, we get our Don back, and then we're able to go 8-10, and these swings are kind of massive for him, and he doesn't want to give up those amount of cards out of hand, so he's just taking them. He does freeze, but now we have just a 2K, which I don't have, so I'm gonna have to Gum Giant, and that gets me into another card. So that's why I said another problem for him. So now instead of playing the Newgate, I can play this, get a Don, like send it back to base. He does get this free block, but now I have a Don active. I'll swing the 7 into it. He still has to give me a card, and then a 12, which he's obviously gonna let it go through. I'm just establishing a body, making it hard for him to swing into. His leader cannot swing into me if he's going to be continuously play those Blackbeards, and the Gum Giant is just going to make it a lot easier. Now, if I knew I was going to get Roger, I should have just not countered and then try going for game. But that's just me trying to like end the game as soon as possible. Instead of doing that, we just do the same play again, but this time we got 2 Shanks. Now I don't know if this is a glitch, because the Blackbeard card reads differently than the actual card itself. Because looking at the judge ruling on it, I should have my Shanks ability. He just can't attack during my turn. So they should be a little bit lower, which is fine. It sucks, but on their turn, if they don't have another Blackbeard, that's a 10,000 Blackbeard there that they have, and it's gonna just make this a lot easier for me to swing into. Again, I have a Rush Shanks, so this would have been a lot harder for them to block out if my Shanks ability was still on. But there's nothing really we can do about it. Now I'm debating Oh no, it's his turn. So he definitely has to try to clear bodies, but if he's swinging, well, my Luffy is an 8, right? So if he has to swing 8, he might as well try to swing 8 into the kids, get rid of those. But if he has a Blackbeard, it still isn't the best play for him. I think the best thing he could do here is maybe try to swing into me. I do have 5 cards and a Gum Giant. If he can swing into life, and I don't know what he's searching for here. I think that was a mistake to just drop your searchers. I don't know what you're looking for, but I think the answer was 10, 10, 15 at me. I don't think it wins because I do have the Gum Giant and 2K in my hand. But swinging the 13 and me trashing the kid because I don't want to. I think I have enough. Yeah. Then he quits. Yeah, it was pretty much over with him swinging big like that. So now we're going into the Shanks matchup. This matchup, I like, just because I'm beating him to his own Shanks. Now, him being a 5 life leader and being able to make my swings 5k is a real big problem. I get my 2k, the only thing I could grab out of there, which will help me stay alive, but I didn't get the ramp or the second ramp I was looking for. Yeah, him making my swings 5, it really relieves the pressure from him. So we go swing 6. He didn't do leader ability, so I couldn't rush him down, but the Zoro was always the play. And him being able to KO is another thing I want to you gotta watch out for. I did end up baiting him. Drawing that giant Bart made a whole different play because now I'm able to ramp twice. And he blocked, thinking, I guess he think I made him a 5k. So that made the Zoro live an extra turn. That was definitely a mistake on his part. But it's very beneficial. I'm always ready for the Zoro to die, especially after he's given me great value. He's got me to my 7, and I can start pumping my leader up. And I grab a giant, which is nice to see here. I'm at 9, so I can play him and then leader effect. You always got to be careful, because if you're at 8 and you play him and you minus the Don, then you won't be able to do your leader effect and you just miss out on a Don, which isn't bad because I have the Zoro. Normally you won't have it. But I'm able to get to 10, and then I can swing, what is it, 6, 6, 6. Just trying to get all those 6 swings that I missed earlier. And I got the Gum Giant. I really want to play the Onami out if possible. I mean, either or. Gum Giant or Onami, just depending on how, if he was going to pop my whole board. Getting another Gum Giant. That was a tough decision to lose a Gum Giant R. But the fact that I had nothing but counter in hand, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do here. I could play Zoro Joro, just have another body, maybe have him focus on it. And I think that was my plan. Hopefully he pops it. It seems like he really wanted to clear my board. And I did get that one. I ended up just ending instead of playing it. And yeah, he is popping everything. I think the decision there to keep the Zoro Joro was I could take life, but if I do use the Gum Gum Giant, I can pitch the Zoro Joro. I finally found some of my answers. This one, I end up playing the Newgate and not the Shanks because I felt that the next turn when I play the Shanks, I can kind of pressure game a little bit harder that way. Or at least start swinging into board like right off the bat. I didn't want to turn the Shank sideways and he still had like a whole bunch of cards that he could just don up and swing into. Also, having that 9k or that 8k body makes it where he can't swing into me. I gum for the to just get more answers in hand, and I do get those answers. And this is the hard part. I go again with the Shanks. I hold the Shanks because I kind of want to get him down a little bit lower before I end up playing that Shanks. The kid also is like, I do want to establish the kid body. Him donning up and doing 12 to the Newgate. I thought he was gonna go swing at life, be a little bit more aggressive. Again, hard decisions, but I end up getting rid of him, which I always like to see multiple Shanks, because if I could drop those multiple Shanks, it kind of makes this better. Those Gum Gum Giants really fixed my hand. So now, like I said, I got 3 bodies I can swing with. I made his dragon smaller, so if he wants to give me 2 cards, he's gonna have to give me, oh, I forgot leader effect, so he still had to give me 2 cards. So are you gonna give me 2 cards again? And it's a rad beam. All that it stopped me from swinging into life, but we did get his monster off. Now for him, I do have 5 cards in hand. I do have 2 life. He is gonna have to don up and swing into me. I think I don't know, it might be because I'm a red player that maybe him swinging for game might have tried to been the best bet. I didn't have a don up, but 5 cards is still hard to say. Him dropping the Rayleigh wasn't the best play. Like, maybe his best play was dropping the dragon, but yeah, he goes down to 0 and I can just drop the Rayleigh and swing into him. That's why I really like this matchup. I can ramp faster than him and just continuously play big bodies. He's used to popping, or at least that deck should be made for this Doffy deck where you're popping the smaller bodies consistently. Now the Doffy, he's going first. He definitely wants to go first. I definitely want to go first, so he kind of has the advantage being able to swing into me and play out a couple of cards, making it hard. Just making it hard overall to defend myself. Luckily, I do have a few counter in hand. Zoro Joro is a hard play against the Doflamingo because they have laws, and I'm glad I saw him play that law out, which I'm more confident that he won't bounce it back to my hand for free. So I'm more confident that this is gonna stick, and if it does stick, it's gonna be a huge play for us to get that Zoro Von Clay play. He does get a few bodies out on the field, which seems scary. None arrested, because he didn't even do leader effect yet. He put a card on top of his deck, so I don't know how he whiffed. And maybe he just wanted to do that to get the 7K swing at me. But we get to swing big. This is the debate on playing the law. I have everything in hand but counter, so that law would get me counter, including the gum. And I'm at 9 Don right now, so next turn I'll be going to 10. He has to take, like, you don't have to take him out. And I mean, he clears my board, which is beautiful. But it's just really, I'm really glad I alleviate the pressure, and it gave me counter. We take this and we get our 2K. So I didn't need to play the law. I got some counter in hand, and we get to go up. A Nami this turn would have been beautiful, since I didn't have a Gum Giant. And I'm always going to be threatening the Gum Giant, because even if, and this is something I learned when I was playing Rad Beams, if your last life, or if the life you're about to take is Gum Giant and you need it for the next swing, having that 1 Don up when you already know that they're going to take the swing. Like, there's no way they're blocking that 10K swing I just did. I mean, there is a way. I've seen it. I've seen crazy swings, but you win if they do. Like, if you off, or are you off on a high swing like that by 1? That 9, that is a huge number. So I'm just trying to do the math to see if I can block the next one. And with that 2K that I grab out, I definitely can. He bounced 2 cards back to hand. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I think one of them was a 2K. I need to go back and see. But then there's that Gum Giant at a perfect time, because now I have the kid out, which now I can start using my leader effect every turn. And we can definitely put some major pressure on here. Playing the law, which is another thing. I could have swung 1K smaller and play that law, but I think right now I'm just looking for big bodies, and I have 2Ks, and Gum Giant needs a target. Just in case I need to go for game next turn, I need to use that Gum Giant to just keep my my kid alive, because kid kind of makes it where you kind of use an 11 Don if you, and yes, he filled his board up and swung at the kid, so we're gonna keep him alive. It's actually less Don to swing at him. I kind of wish he swung at my life instead. Well, I guess it didn't matter. And I have 2 answers here. Just deciding how we want to do it. And it all depends on if he's going to block or not. And yeah, he just scoops. Okay, so just a quick recap. the deck definitely works as intended. The one thing that I did change is I think I went down to 1-1 on here. I really didn't see myself playing the 0 cost as much as pitching it for counter, and I did see a few matches where I was having too many 2Ks in hand, so I dropped him down to 1. I dropped this down, so 9 8Ks, but I'm running 4 Onamis now, bumping them from 2 to 4. That way I can gain more cards in hand and have a blocker, because this card you definitely want to see after playing a kid. Just doing that if you don't have a Gum Giant, like that is the best, I would say, 10 Don, well technically 11 Don play that you can do in the deck. But you guys let me know what you think, any changes, anything that you're willing to put that is constructive and not just play it the way X player played because he won. This one definitely fits my play style. I get to be aggressive, and I kind of I want to say I control your power. I control my power. I get to level up while I de-level you or decrease you, and I really like how that flow feels.